What did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say to Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? أَلَمْ يَجِدْكَ يَتِيمًا فَآوَى وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًّا فَهَدَى وَوَجَدَكَ عَائِلًا فَأَغْنَى. صح ولا لا؟ أَلَمْ يَجِدْكَ يَتِيم. Did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not find you in a state of an orphan? Meaning, were you not an orphan, Ya Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam? Maybe many of us here are orphans. You might not be physically an orphan, but you might have not seen your father or lived with your father, or you live like an orphan. فَآوَى, He protected. Did I not find you an orphan and I protected you? وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًّا, that you did not have hidayah, and I have given you hidayah, and I've given you the risalah. All of you here, mashallah, have hidayah. Most of you have beards, alhamdulillah. Most of you, if not all of you, I should say, pray. Alhamdulillah. هذه نعم لا تحصى ولا تعد. ووجدك عائلا فأغنى. And you were poor, and Allah has made you wealthy or better off. This is our case, most of us. When my father left Tunisia and he came here, he was not coming here to make 1 billion people Muslim. And most people who came from over there or back home or wherever that is, their goal was not to do da'wah or to give da'wah. It was for betterment of self, financial gains, most of us. Alhamdulillah, for those who have given da'wah and they came for that purpose, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant them according to their niyas. So the question is, why you? Why me? Why us?
إسلامي وإيماني أضاء الكون وزمن
وتقول هل من مزيد ادخلوها بسلام ولدينا مزيد. الله.
بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. اللهم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي اللهم آمين. Dear brothers, I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala أن يجعل هذا الجمع جمعا مغفورا وتفرقنا من بعده جمعا مستورا وأن تحفنا الملائكة وأن يغفر لنا ربنا سبحانه. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He will forgive our sins, that He will accept our gathering here tonight. The biggest question I want to ask, and I don't like to give lectures, I like to interact with people. My question to you, to all of you, to those of you who are listening, why are you here in America? How many of you were born here? Please raise your hand. So only maybe 25% of you were born here, the rest were born somewhere else. Sah? And for the 25% that was born here, I think 100% of you, your parents were born in a different country. Sahih? All right. I'm first generation here. I was raised in Tunisia. I was born here. So I kind of have a good understanding of what you're going through in this country from many, many facets. I have teenage boys myself. My oldest is 14, mashallah. And then I have 6 more after him. The goal is to get 10, inshallah. May Allah make it easy. Then I can have 2 basketball teams. And I can come to your league and we can go from 12 teams to 14, inshallah. And we can hoop, alhamdulillah, mashallah. At least the 3-pointers, because you don't have to run when you're shooting them things, right? Nah. But the question is, how many of you know why you're here? Are you here to eat and have fun and hang out? I'm not talking about the gym. I'm talking about America. If I were to ask you and you and you and you and you listening to me right there, why are you here? What brought you to America? What brought your family to America? Or why did you end up here? Can anybody answer me? Throw out some answers here, just kind of help me out. Put us on track, inshallah ta'ala. Running away from conflict. Education. Naam. To be smart. You can be smart anywhere. Money. Financial opportunity, or opportunity in general. Better opportunities. A better way of life. Sah wala la? Now, how many of you either physically know or have seen people in other countries who are Muslims just like you, who are struggling today? How many of you have seen or know somebody? Please raise your hand. That's not, I thought all of you would have like double digits. I'll raise mine for somebody else. So now the question is, why you? What makes you so special to be here while your cousin or uncle or family member is struggling abroad or back home? Or forget about your bloodline, a Muslim person. We've heard of shootings going on in Eritrea. We've heard of Muslims all over the globe being killed and persecuted. Why are you here? Do you guys really think that we are better than those people back home? Who thinks that? Please raise your hand. So why are we here? For better opportunity, for money, for a better life, for a better education. Why? These are questions I ask my children every night. Why you? What makes you so better? How many of you prayed 20 rak'ahs last night, Qiyam al-Layl? It's okay, you can show off tonight. Please raise your hand. Nobody. I guarantee you, those poor people back home, many of them prayed Qiyam al-Layl last night. Do you agree with me? Sah? How many of them are walking around seeing all this stuff we have to see living in America? Nudity, dunya, fasad. Most of them don't know, they cannot comprehend the fitna we have here in America or in the West. Yet what do you think makes us better than them, that we have this opportunity? Why do you get to go to college and 1 billion people will never go to college? Why do you get to play basketball and 1 billion people will never see a gym like this? You might say 1 billion is a lot. 2/3 of Muslims are in dire poverty all over the globe. Why do you get to eat chips and they don't know what chips are? Why do I drive a nice car and most people will never see a car, mean own a car? We've all seen cars. Why do you have a $120 pair of shoes on when most people cannot afford a $10 pair of shoes? Can anybody tell me why? Seriously, why? Who can guess? Different life situations. I understand. These are facts. But why? Has anybody thought, why me? Why do I have certain things that most people don't have? Why have I seen certain things that most people will never see? Why do I live a life that most people could only dream of? Even if you're living in a bad 2-bedroom apartment, you're better off than millions and millions of people all over the globe that are Muslim just like you, maybe better than us. They pray at the masjid. They are simple people. I want to trigger your thought process. I don't want to give you a lecture. I want you to learn how to think. It's called a paradigm shift. It's all about how we look at things, how we perceive things. What did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say to Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? أَلَمْ يَجِدْكَ يَتِيمًا فَآوَى وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًّا فَهَدَى وَوَجَدَكَ عَائِلًا فَأَغْنَى. صح ولا لا؟ ألم يجدك يتيم. Did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not find you in a state of an orphan. Meaning, were you not an orphan, Ya Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam? Maybe many of us here are orphans. You might not be physically an orphan, but you might have not seen your father or lived with your father, or you live like an orphan. فَآوَى, he protected. Did I not find you an orphan and I protected you? وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًّا, that you did not have hidayah, and I have given you hidayah, and I've given you the risalah. All of you here, mashallah, have hidayah. Most of you have beards, alhamdulillah. Most of you, if not all of you, I should say, pray. Alhamdulillah. هذه نعم لا تحصى ولا تعد. ووجدك عائلا فأغنى, and you were poor and Allah has made you wealthy or better off. This is our case, most of us. When my father left Tunisia and he came here, he was not coming here to make 1 billion people Muslim. And most people who came from over there or back home or wherever that is, their goal was not to do da'wah or to give da'wah. It was for betterment of self, financial gains, most of us. Alhamdulillah, for those who have given da'wah and they came for that purpose, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant them according to their niyas. So the question is, why you? Why me? Why us? That's a test, dear brothers and sisters, for those of you who are listening and hearing me. It's a test. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tests certain people with poverty and many trials and tribulations and hardships. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He tries many people with money in abundance. So realize that you have been privileged. As poor as you might think, and you're thinking, what is this guy talking? He's crazy. I barely make the rent. We're poor. Some people. And he's saying, I'm privileged. You are privileged. I don't see anybody wearing $20 shoes in here. I don't see anyone. If you're wearing $20 shoes, let me see them. Show me. Anyone? Even on the internet, throw them through. Let us see them. Everybody's wearing expensive shoes, mashallah. Even if you bought them for $20, you know they were on sale. We are very privileged that we can eat and drink and have abundance, feel safe, gather. We can still go pray in this country, alhamdulillah. I feel safer here than many Muslim countries. Even while I'm wearing this qamis and I'm going outside in public, in some Muslim countries I would be persecuted. But please, dear brothers and sisters, my children, my younger brothers listening to me, please realize the ni'mah that you have. Please realize the abundance that Allah has given you, the opportunity Allah has given us. When they said this is the land of opportunity, yes, it's true. But I don't want an opportunity that's going to let me lose my deen and take me to hellfire. I don't want opportunity ala hisabi dini. I don't want opportunity that's going to make me a less of a Muslim. This is what's important. We have to realize the ni'mah that we have. And we have to realize that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put us here for a reason. It's not for you to get a better education, to have a better house, to be better off financially. It's for you to call to the deen of Allah. And this, I want to conclude with this, so we stay within the time frame. Most of us, when we walk outside looking like Muslims, we are accountable for Islam. Most of us here, when we walk outside, we look like Muslims whether we like it or not. We are labeled as Muslims. So when we're driving crazy, we're doing crazy things, We're loud and obnoxious out in the parking lot. We are Muslims. We are not perfect. We do make mistakes. And we will make mistakes. And we ask Allah to forgive us. But also we need to remind ourselves, why are we here? Dear brothers, how many of you have seen new converts or have dealt with new converts? Please raise your hand. Many of us. What are some of the things the new converts do? And I'm going to conclude with this idea, inshallah. As soon as they become Muslim, what do? Real quick, you who raised your hand, tell me, what do? Anyone? Now, they start looking like a Muslim. Sah wala la? They put on the beard, they put on the qamis. They try to fix their speech. They want to learn about the deen. And they call others to the deen of Allah. Sah wala la? Who should carry this deen, us or the converts? All of us. The converts are Muslim too. That was a trick question. But نحن من باب أولى. We are priority. It's very sad that many Muslims were born into Islam 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years. And a convert comes into Islam for a year or two and they out-knowledge, they learn more than many Muslims that are 50, 60, 70 years old. How many of you have seen this? في حقول الدعوة, if you're out there, they know more than a lot of our parents. They know a lot of our uncles and aunts. Because a lot of us have taken Islam as what? As a aada, as a custom, not as a deen. So please, I'm asking you, my brothers, my sisters, my children, if you're under 25, you would qualify to be my child. So how old do you think I am? 60. Allahu Akbar. Don't let my children hear that. I bet you I can out-hoop you, whoever said I was 60. Now, please realize that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us many ni'am. Let's not use them just for simple materialistic things that will only last in this dunya and not get us far. Let's please use them for the sake of Allah. We can all become better Muslims. We can all become more aware. Awareness is so important. It's not about the knowledge. How many hufaz do we have here? Please raise your hand. Who has memorized at least 10 ajza? Please raise your hand. Come on. Najib, raise your hand. Who else? 2, come on. How about Juz'in? Who's memorized 2 juz of Quran? No. If you do this, you're making me look bad. I said I'm going to go give a muhadara, half of them memorize the Quran. Please, who else? 2 ajza of the Quran? MashaAllah. Nah, alhamdulillah. A lot of us memorize the Quran, but sometimes when we hear قال Allah, قال Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, oh brother, that's not what he means. Oh really? Then we become scholars. Memorizing the Quran and understanding the Quran are 2 different things. Learning comes by acquiring knowledge. It means dunk. Ooh, I broke your ankle. Sah? You learned all these things. All I'm saying, and I'm going to conclude inshallah ta'ala, that we, dear brothers and sisters, all of you listening to me, we are responsible for this deen. We are not perfect. We have bad habits, we make mistakes, we are human beings. We are not angels. But yet there is so much we can do if we have awareness. Because if somebody has cancer and they're taking an Advil and they're saying, I'm going to be okay. Advil does not cure or help cure cancer. You all know this, huh? You've learned this stuff in school, right? MashaAllah. So you need to do many therapies, treatments, whether they're natural or pharmaceutical. We're not going to debate that. So we have to realize, what is our cancer? What's your problem? 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 You need to look yourself in the mirror and say, what is my problem? What is it? I'm lazy, I'm a procrastinator. I don't follow through. I'm not good for my word. I'm a liar. I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm that. And I know many of you have been reading self-help books and they say, look in the mirror and say, I'm great. I'm perfect. I'm beautiful. I'm lying to myself. We're not saying speak negative to yourself or about yourself, but to realize what each one of us has a problem that we need to fix. Then we seek to fix it and we ask Allah to help us change it. Because you cannot change until you realize that there's something that needs to be changed. And don't do it for you or your family or your degree or the sheikh or your friend or your mom or your dad. Do it for what? For the sake of Allah. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه سبحانك اللهم بحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك جزاكم الله خيرا السلام عليكم ورحمة الله
بإسلامي وإيماني أضاء الكون وزمن بإسلامي وإيماني أضاء الكون وزمن